And so coming in with number 4, again, we will separate this fraction into our numerator and denominator. We need to simplify it, so we're going to factor the numerator, and we're going to factor the denominator as far as we can and see if we can come up with any common terms. And so, common factors, I'm sorry, in the numerator and denominator. So u squared minus 10u plus 21, and 18 minus 2u squared. Now, the first thing I notice about this one on the right, the denominator, is I don't care for the way that it's been written. I like to have the u squared in front, so I'm going to rewrite that right now. And then we'll deal with that later. But I always want these to appear in order of order, which is the highest exponent first. And so AC method on the numerator, we have 1 times 21 makes 21. Factors of 21, 1 times 21, 3 times 7, and that's it. And we need a pair that, when put together, would make 10. 3 and 7 will do that for us. So we can separate this into u squared minus 7u minus 3u plus 21. And those two, negative 7 and negative 3, would make our negative 10. So we separate it out there. On the left, I can factor out a u. I'm left with u minus 7. Then looking at the right, it looks like I need to factor out a negative 3 to make u minus 7. All right, and so these two u minus 7s will factor out because I have them on both sides. We are left with u plus negative 3, which would simplify to be u minus 3. So there's our factored out numerator. Looking at our denominator, is there a number we could take out? Yes, there is. And I want to be creative with what I do here, because this looks like it could possibly be a difference of squares. And so I'm going to notice that that is a plus sign, and I would prefer that to be a minus sign. And that is a minus sign, and I would prefer it to be a plus sign. So I'm going to factor out a negative 2 and see what happens. So by factoring out a negative 2, what we're left with on the inside of the parentheses there is u squared minus 9. And that's a difference of squares. And u squared, the square root of u squared is u. The square root of 9 is 3. So it's going to be really easy to factor this because we have u plus 3 and u minus 3. And again, if you're looking for, if you're having trouble with the difference of squares, I believe lesson 11 was the one, or lesson 10 was the one that was on difference of squares. It's worth reviewing because it will make all of this so much easier. So putting these back in our fraction, we have u minus 7 times u minus 3 over negative 2 times u plus 3 times u minus 3. And as we've seen in some earlier problems, u minus 3 and u minus 3 would divide out evenly. They would become 1. So another way to say that is they cancel. And we get u minus 7 over negative 2 times u plus 3. That's an acceptable answer for me. Alex may prefer that you multiply that denominator out or simplify the denominator. If you did that, you would get negative 2u minus 6. And so, again, for me, either one of those is an acceptable answer. Now we need to figure out what can our value for u not be. So the denominator can't be 0. So negative 2u minus 6 cannot be 0. So if we add 6, our value of u cannot be negative 3. Otherwise, that would produce a denominator that would be 0, and that is not okay. So a little bit tricky, but basically, like I've mentioned in previous problems, just a matter of getting good at factoring, being good at factoring, putting it back into the fraction form, noticing what we can cancel, and then we're kind of on the road from there. I hope this is helpful.